God. Early. Some shirt. Maybe some gloves. Not really my thing. We're in week 1 here. I'm going for my 3rd ride of the week. I did like a quick 2-hour ride on Tuesday, just under 30K. And then on Wednesday or Thursday, I did about an hour of hill climbs. Don't love it, but it is a great way to get vert. And then today, Saturday morning, I'm going to ride for a couple hours, and I have some friends meeting up at 9, and then we're going to do a bit of a group ride. So I'm hoping to get a bigger ride in today, somewhere around 4.5 hours. Yeah, just trying to get those kilometers up, and I'll be increasing those every week. I had the good fortune of being out west last week, so I got some big rides in. Yoo! 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 Oh yeah. Of course, I'm also resting whenever I can. So normally I stand at work. This week I've been sitting as much as possible. So I've been doing the exercise, but then resting, sitting, trying to get 8 hours of sleep. Obviously, in some cases more. Sleep's really important. Yeah, so let's get out there. Let's get a good ride in. Looks like it's a nice day today. Have a bit of a thrilling entrance out of the backyard. Especially thrilling on this bike. I almost died this last time. Hopefully I handle it with a little bit more dignity. Coming nice and slow. Lots of brake. Hopefully you want to go. Lots of speed. Come around. Woo. Oh God. This branch has got me so many times. Today's the day you die. When it comes to hill training, and you live in Toronto, your options are pretty limited for sustained climbing. Doesn't really exist here, at least as far as I know it. I don't fucking do this too often. There's some short, punchy climbs in the Don. This is one of them. This is on Redway Road behind the Secret Loblaws. And I'm just looking for as much climbing as I can get. So it gets quite steep here. Get it! From here on out, it gets a little unreasonable. As shitty as this is, the more of this work I do now, the stronger I'm going to be in Arizona, and the more I'm going to enjoy it. And I don't want it to be I don't want it to be like a suffer fest, kind of like what parts of the Colorado Trail were for us. So fucking hard. Holy shit. All I'm gonna do here is ride up to the top, go back down, and repeat it. Turn it around. Start dumping those gears and do it again. Morning. So normally I'm riding my Canfield balance, which is like 7 inches of squish front and back, or close to it. Now I'm on my Canfield Nimble 9, which is a hardtail. It's a 29er. It's weird going from one bike to the next, even though I've done thousands of kilometers on this bike. It's these sort of things that I'm finding completely different on a hardtail. On my squish, I don't even slow down there. Ooh, ball. I have a dog that would probably love that ball. Dawn shall provide. Kind of do 2 things. Clean up the garbage in the Dawn and bring joy to my puppy. The other hill, as part of my hill repeats, is Beechwood. It's right around the corner from my house. Super quick to get to, so I can get into the pain even quicker. All right, so that's the end of part 1 of my Saturday ride. All right, so really nice and slow as you come into it. Wait for those tires to start letting loose. This bike is super sketch. Not bad at all. Yes!
I was definitely freaked.
Yes! All right.
That's great.
Obviously working out, big part of the physical. Just getting back into this. I was off for 3 weeks. So a little tired. I'm trying to keep my rep count at least at 12. Again, because I'm trying to train the body, the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles to go further. So pushing 12 reps on everything, no less than 12. Obviously leg day, an important one. I'm gonna switch up my leg workout. Normally I do cleans and pistol squats on leg day. But today I'm going to start doing some different exercises, lunges, because of all the prodigious hike-a-bike, including the 21 miles going down and up into the Grand Canyon. And I think I'll do some Bulgarian squats too, just to really focus on the quads. But yeah, 4 sets, at least 12 reps, just trying to get those numbers up. Now another weak point in my body is coming after 7 days of downhill out in BC. And I was starting to notice I was getting some inflammation in my elbow from braking. So I started also doing this, starting to work the muscles, the supporting muscles into the elbow. Again, I'm worried about accumulation injuries. So I'm using this band to push back the alignment in my ankle. It's a bit of a concern for the trip because it's been getting inflamed. So I'm going to try and push this back as per my physiotherapist's recommendation. Now, we'll talk about the technical next. Maybe not while riding a bike. All right, another thing I want to do during the first week of training for the Arizona Trail is change up my bikes. So I'm going to be taking my Canfield Nimble 9, which I've taken on my other bikepacking adventures. So I want a faster rolling wheel because kilometers are the name of the game. This is also steel, so there's some flex in the frame, which is nice. So even though it's a hardtail, it's not like a carbon hardtail. Eventually, I will dump the dropper post, but I'm not going to add any bags. So I've got all my bags up there. I'll go through that in another video. Week 1, we're just going to transition to the hardtail. Of course, going to make sure everything's nicely lubed up for this. I'm putting this on some Fortis wheels that I recently bought. They're a little bit wider and supposedly stronger. You know, blue hubs to match some of the color accents on the bike because everybody knows that color coordination on a bicycle results in 10% stronger rider and 10% faster times on the bike. Facts! Any luck? I will be able to do a full insertion here. Oh! I think I got it. Yeah, I'm a flat guy. Don't hold it against me. I can ride just fine with them. Thank you very much. Loving these DMRs. Nothing hooks up quite like them. They're super bomber. The axle goes all the way through, as opposed to other pedals like this where it only goes like part way through. Makes for a much sturdier platform. I don't want to have any pedal issues. They're a little bit heavier, but I find reliability is going to be what I'm most concerned about. So there you go. So yeah, that's the bike work that I'm going to do for week 1. Shift F11. Well, I don't have an F11. Okay. We're going to stick with technical here for a bit. So obviously a trip like this requires a lot of gear. The boys and I, we've got a bit of a system here. We think it's a pretty great system. What we try and do is essentially have a list so that we can be pretty efficient when it comes to bringing things. For example, bike repair. So if you come over here, you'll see that we have quite a few things down here for bike repair. And at the top, you'll see we have people's names. Now, we don't want each one of us to be bringing a multi-tool. We don't need each one of us bringing an 8mm, etc. down the list. So what we essentially do is we put our names down beside something. So for instance, I want to bring a multi-tool. So I just put an X in there, and that tells the other guys that I'm bringing a multi-tool. Now, there are some things we want to bring more of, for instance, tubes. So, you know, I will put an X, but I expect both Johnny and Michael are going to put an X there. We are going into the desert. Apparently there are pokey things there. We should all have tubes. But really what this allows us to do is spread the carry weight across the 3 of us so that we're not carrying more than we need to. We're basically carrying the exact amount of stuff that we need. Another great thing about this list is it serves as a shopping list. So you go through it and you'll be like, all right, I've got a bladder, but I don't have an extra bladder. So this will like help me add to my shopping list. And then, you know, we also have a category here for what to pick up in, you know, in the States. You know, one of the things is you can't fly with CO2. So picking up one of those once we've landed. Fuel, another thing that they don't want you flying with, lighters. But I highly recommend this system. It's a great way of not forgetting what it is you need to bring, of sharing the weight across the team, and creating a shopping list. So it really does all 3 of those things. There is a sister system that we use with the gear list, and that is, and you'll see it right up here in the title, finances. So we basically have someone who's smarter than me in the group who knows how to make sums. Basically what it'll do is I'll add in my expenses and someone else will add in their expenses, and then it'll automatically figure out who owes who what. A great example of this, I'll go over to the Colorado Trail expenses just because it's here. And you can see it's just things like taxis to rentals, truck rentals, storage lockers, gas, you know, shuttles, that sort of stuff. We don't put our food on there. That's just expected that you pay for your own food. If we go to a restaurant, you're expected to pay for your own restaurant. If you get a motel, it might end up on here, but if you get your own motel room, then you would pay for it, etc., etc. Through the magic of math, it figures out who paid too much, who didn't pay enough, and it figures out what it is that we need to pay here to get a zero-sum balance. But this is super handy. One of the things, money can come between friends, and this is one way of avoiding it altogether. And it's actually also a great way of keeping track of your expenses. So when you're looking back and seeing what it is that you spent, I expect that we'll be spending much more on the Arizona Trail than we did on Colorado. As you can see right now, other than the things I put on here, I've got nothing. So the next thing I want to do is start going around the house and finding out what it is that I have and what it is that I need to get. All right, time to gather up stuff on my packing list, which I have spread out all over the house. So this is going to be a bit of a scavenger hunt. Follow me. This is where I think I'll find most of the shit. Look at that. A Thai pot. What else we got here? This is kind of like some of my camping stuff. Shit tickets, always a good idea. Sewing kit, gonna take some stuff out of that. Pristine, unopened. Ooh, I like that. Thermarest patches, probably a good idea to have. Yes, need this for starting my stove. There we go. Not everything that's going in that box I'm bringing, it's just in the short list. But wait, there's more. Start with this. Spork. What do we got in here? Thermarest. Neo Air. Aha, my very luxurious camp towel. Hey, look at the coverage I got there. Now, to check off what I have off my list. Okay, so I'm going to start checking off some things on the list here that I just gathered up. But this really wraps up week 1 of my training for the Arizona Trail. I hope you found it somewhat helpful or somewhat interesting. I don't see a lot of information on training for bikepacking trips, so I thought I'd share this. So let me know if you have any questions or any suggestions. Otherwise, I will see you in week 2, and thank you so much for watching if you made it this far.